it as we're going. And let me just check one more time here, make sure that I've got my peeps on here. Okay, looks good. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. I'm getting smarter and smarter every day. Okay, so welcome to the Facebook Live, where I'm going to talk a little bit today about what's been going on with the Freedom Shift, and specifically here at the High Ticket Sales Collaborative. And then I'm going to tell you about the program that I'm going to be teaching, which is how to add an additional 25K in 25 days. So for me, today is really what I call the wrap-up day. So this is the last day before I leave for my 10-day vacation. And, you know, there's a few things I want to share with you. I want to talk a little bit about, you know, what motivates me to do what I do. A lot of you have been following me for a while. Some of you know my story, some of you don't. As you know, I've lived a long time, so I have a long story. So I'm not going to bore you with all of that today, but I'll give you a few little highlights. I want to talk about why I'm doing what I do with my business and how that is, why that matters to you, obviously. And some of the things that you can utilize my services for, like in other words, you know, what would you come to me to find out about? You know, where's my expertise and who do I know? So I always say it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I'm a big believer in that, as many of you are, have heard me say it. So let's jump into this. You know, what motivates me to do what I do? You know, I'm at a place in my life right now where truly I don't have to work. And I've, you know, talked to many of you about the fact that I had a really extensive 25 plus years career in telecom, working for some Fortune 500 companies and climbed the corporate ladder. And, you know, I had a really great corporate career and I loved it. But then there came a moment when I realized that there were things in the corporate world that just weren't all that great sitting with me. I mean, there were perks and there were nice things, but then there were things that got kind of, we'll just call them political. And, you know, I really decided I wanted to do something that I had more freedom. So I started my own company, which was called Integrated Communications, and it was a B2B sales agency. I ran that for about 15 years, and it was great. I learned a lot, obviously, about entrepreneurship, and I also learned the value of recurring income. So that's one of the big things that I can help people with. I understand how to create recurring income, and I understand why it's a beautiful thing. So, okay, so anyway, I created that company and I had that for 15 years. And then it was really only about 5 or 6 years ago that I decided that I wanted to shift gears, stop working with the real corporate type of clients and really work with the small business entrepreneurs. So it means what I really wanted to do is make a difference, right? And so what I had come to the conclusion was that after I had reached so many of my life goals, many of the material goals that I was looking for, that it didn't satisfy me. Like I didn't have that feeling like, oh, okay, I have it all now. And so I started to realize, wow, you know, there's more to life than meets the eye. Right? There's more to life than just raising my children and launching my children and getting the swimming pool and having the house on the beach and having my house paid for and my cars. And it wasn't making me feel good. So, you know, I knew there was something else. And so I kind of started on a spiritual journey. And that really made me come to the conclusion that I should share the gifts and talents that I have been working to learn my whole life and perfect, and I shouldn't say perfect because there isn't such a thing, but to get good at, and use those in a way that would really help to uplift humanity. Like what does that mean? Well, to me, it means helping coaches and consultants who want to do good in the world to be able to get more clients. Because the more clients they get, the more influence they have for good in the world. We uplift each other. So that's really my motivation for what I do. It's kind of a mission now to do something that really makes an impact. And I really do believe that entrepreneurship changes the world. So it gets us out of this system, like having to rely on the system, having to depend on some big corporate company, conglomerate to tell us when we can spend time with our kids or take time off or, just take some time for ourselves. And the freedom that entrepreneurship brings is the thing that I think will really change the world. Because when we're entrepreneurs, we're giving our own gifts. We're doing the things that we came here to do, right? That makes us feel good and useful, challenges us in a good way, and it also makes a contribution to the greater good. So I'm all about entrepreneurship, and my gift is sales and strategic planning. I was telling one of my coaches the other day that, I'm a great idea person. I love the big picture. And sometimes the actual nitty gritty, the execution piece of it is hard for me because I'm a shiny objects person, right? In the big picture. So I've learned how to utilize the strengths and talents of other people so that I can actually get my big ideas implemented. So, for those of you who are out there and you're struggling in some way with your business, it's really important to recognize that, you can't do it by yourself. You're going to need to bring in some talent and skill that complements what you do. And when you collaborate, which is obviously what this group is all about, with other people who have the skills and the talents that you don't have, you become so much more capable of building a business. So that's really my gift. And I can, because I'm a big networker and because I belong to many different high productivity type of groups, upper echelon kinds of people who really are trying to make a big impact. I have a lot of connections with people who have a lot of talent. So I do consider myself a connector and somebody that can really help with the, getting you to kind of figure out what you need next for your business. I'm just going to take a quick second here to see if I can. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I was still doing okay here with this. Looking at myself in two different modes. So it's a little bizarre. Okay. So, then the question comes up, do I love money? And the answer is yes, 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 I love money. But not just because I have it, right? Not just to accumulate it so that I can say I have it. I do like the financial security of having a nest egg. And I feel that I did a good job in creating that over the course of my lifetime. So I've really been able to help other people to see how to do that at the same time that they can spend money too, right? So there's a fine balance between making sure that you take care of your setting yourself up for your future and at the same time being able to spend money and enjoy life. Because what I really believe that money is it is the energy behind living the most life you can, right? The most impactful life, right? I can impact more people if I have money. I can travel and influence other people because I have money to do that. And I can create experiences, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, that really make a difference for other people because I have money. So obviously sales and money go together. So my whole life I've learned a lot about money. And I've also learned how to invest it in myself and expecting an ROI. So I know a lot about the whole business concepts around, how you use money to make more money, so to speak. So yeah, I don't just make it for the sake of making it. I make it for the sake of what it's going to do to enhance my purpose in the world. So, here's the thing. Money isn't going to the grave with you. So unless you spend your whole life worrying about your future generations, which I don't worry that much about. I mean, I worry about the impact and the legacy, but not so much about whether I leave them money or not, because I think everybody has the opportunity to go out and make as much as they want, which is really what we're going to be talking about, right? 25K in 25 days. Why the heck not? Okay, so, so why am I building the Freedom Shift and specifically this high ticket sales collaborative is because I know that when brilliant minds come together, the synergy, right, is greater than the sum of the parts. So what happens when you start collaborating with people who are smarter than you, and most of the people who are in my networks are smarter than me, and a lot of them are a lot younger than I am, but they just have knowledge and awareness and skills that I don't have. But when I can borrow from them, my big world picture becomes so much greater and my capability becomes so much stronger. So I'm not about competition. I'm about let's find a way where we can all collaborate and work together and raise each other up, because heck, why not, right? We have enough people in the world trying to tear each other down, and I choose not to participate in that sort of thing. So I'm building a program called the High Ticket Sales Alliance. We already have some people who have joined it, and we're having a great time. And we're going to be expanding that community. Now, that community is really going to be made up of coaches, consultants, and salespeople who are ready to offer high-ticket programs that are transformational. So something life-transforming for other people, and people who see the value in doing that, right? In creating something that they know is going to make a huge impact on the people who invest in those programs. So we're not about just going out there and creating tripwires and low-end programs and training programs that people buy and never finish. We're all about really creating these transformational experiences that really do help people to grow. And making those investments from the perspective of the client, when the client invests in themselves, they are going to get a much richer experience, and they are going to get the transformation. So I'm not a big believer that you try to lowball things, because it just devalues what you're doing for people. So there's a whole psychology around that I can talk about later. But it's part of the big vision that I have. So the people who I attract, fortunately for me, are people who are elite, exceptionally smart people. They're ethical. They have a greater purpose than to just take care of themselves. They actually want their work to take care of other people too. And so it's purpose-based, right? Coaches, consultants, and salespeople. And, I'm just a big believer that when we have these high performance communities and we come together, we really do have a ripple effect in the world. And I'm a member of, I mean, a lot of different types of high performing communities. So I belong to spiritual communities where people are advanced in their spiritual thinking way beyond where I am. And I learn. And it really makes me step up. I belong to health programs and nutrition programs that teach me things that I don't know and that spur me to be healthier and to value my physical body in a different way. And I belong to business communities and masterminds where everybody around me is at high levels, and a lot of them higher than me. So I continually put myself into these situations where I have to be humble, right? And I have to realize that even though I have decades of life experience and, lots of education, formal education, I have a master's degree, I've had tons of corporate training, sales training. I think I've taken every sales training program ever developed. But yet, I still feel so humbled when I'm around so many of these other smart people. And of course, when you're in a group where everybody is smart and collectively the group is just brilliant, it's very inspiring. So I want to create that here. And I can't do that alone because I'm not smart enough. So, okay. So anyway, I'm going on vacation. And here's the fun part about that and why I want to share it with you. So I am taking my entire family, 19 of us, on a Caribbean cruise for a whole week. So a lot of you know I have 4 sons and they're all married and they all have kids. So there will be 10 adults and there will be 9 of my grandchildren. And I should say that's 9.5 because my daughter-in-law is pregnant with number 10. Fortunately, she's just like in her 4th month. So she's feeling good. And although she won't get to use the drink package that I bought her, I guess she can, but she won't be buying alcohol. Anyway, so why is this important? Well, I made a decision when I started having grandchildren and when I started my business that one of my big motivating factors of why I get up every day and slog through the challenges of entrepreneurship is so that I can create experiences with my family. So, I can buy them all the toys in the world and I know what it's like. I mean, I bought my kids toys, right, as they were all growing up, and I don't even know where any of them are anymore. The money we spent on Legos and He-Man and Ninja Turtles and you name it, big wheels and bicycles, and they're all gone. Like there's nothing left of any of that stuff. So I want to create memories with my grandchildren. I want them to know me on a different level. And so that's why every year I plan some sort of a family experience. Now, I was fortunate enough when I was growing up that I had like 26 cousins, and a lot of my really meaningful life memories come from my time with my family, my cousins. So it's important to me that I get my kids together. So some of my grandchildren live in Florida and some live in Massachusetts. So it's always fun to get the families together. And by the way, I have 4 sons, as I've mentioned, and of my 9 grandchildren, 8 of them are boys. So we're really short in the girl department over here. So I'm hoping that number 10 is a girl, but we'll be happy with whatever. 2 of my sons are twins, but we don't have any twin grandchildren, and number 10 is just a 1. So anyway, guess we'll have to keep waiting for that. Okay, so all 19 of us are going on a cruise, And I'm really excited about it. We're going to have these great experiences together. And another thing about my business that motivates me is that I want to create a legacy that I can, if I leave anything to my family, I want it to be my business, because my business is doing good in the world. I don't want to just leave them money. I don't know what they'll do with that. But if they run my business and they work in my business, then there's a good possibility they'll keep doing good in the world. So that's important to me. When my 4 sons were teenagers, I took a break from my corporate life and I started a business, which at the time was called Dynamic Discoveries. And all 4 of my sons worked in that business. And it was a wonderful opportunity for us to work together, to have a common interest. It was a great way for my sons to learn some sales skills and interpersonal skills. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about that. Someday I'll tell you that story. But anyway, because I did that with my sons, and it was so powerful for us, and it's, you know, like a bond that we all created. My husband was involved in it as well. It's something that I would love to do, and have the grandchildren actually be able to come into my business while I'm still vibrant and running it. My oldest grandson is 16. So they range all the way down. Most of them are in the 7, 8, 9-year-olds, so they're too young yet. But, you know, in a few years, I'd love to have them be able to come in and actually learn more about me, about my values, why I do what I do, and if they're interested, to be able to work in the business too. Okay, so now you know everything you probably never really wanted to know about me. But that was the background. So now I want to talk to you about why you came here, which is 25K in 25 days. And what I'm going to be doing is, as soon as I come back from my vacation, I'm going to be doing a training. And in that training, I am going to lay out step by step how to get 25K in new programs sold within 25 days. And I'm going to tell you how I do it, because when I set my mind to doing something and I focus on it, it happens. And it's not going to be any different for you. So I'm going to lay out the steps of exactly how I do that. And I want you to register for this training, okay? The reason why I want you to register is so that it will be on your calendar, and it won't be like this where, you know, all of a sudden you find something out and you didn't plan for it. You'll have it on your calendar. You'll be in our database so we can remind you, send you the reminders. We'll be able to send you our little worksheets that will be helpful for you after I give the information, so that you'll actually have the plan in front of you. And, you know, you'll be on our radar screen. So there's going to be a link, a Zoom link in the comments here, and you can just go and you can register. And what that also does is, if you can't make it, you will get the replay. So, you know, I'm not supposed to tell you that, right? But I'm not too into the games. And, you know, it's kind of like when people do webinars and they say, oh, come and join me on the webinar. And then they pretend all these people are joining, but it's just recorded. I do not do that. I don't even like that. Okay, so the whole point is, look, if you don't have a high ticket program and you're trying to sell something off of a sales page and you're not a consultative salesperson, you're probably not going to be able to participate. But I would still say, you know, maybe come and you'll get some great ideas. In the meantime, you have 10 days to think about your high ticket program. I'm going to tell you on the call and in the training, I'm going to tell you how to figure out how to design your program so that it will be transformational if you don't have one yet. But we're not going to spend a lot of time on that, because I know most of you do have a high ticket program. So it is important that you have a program and you know who you're targeting with it. And we're going to show you how to get that focus going so that you can get on sales calls. And then I'm going to tell you how to sell it. I'll also tell you how you might be able to get me and my team to sell for you, because that's another part of what we do here at the Freedom Shift. So the goal for all of you is to get to a point where you can actually bring a salesperson in to do your selling for you, so that you can focus on the work that you're really good at, which is your coaching program or consulting or service or whatever it is that you do, or if you sell for others. So it's just important that that you recognize that at some point that would be a wonderful thing, if you really truly want to grow your business and scale it, to have somebody who can sell for you. And I can help you with that, obviously. So that's what I wanted to let you know. Oh, another thing that we're going to be going through in pretty good detail on the training is what I call the heart flow sales conversation. It's a process that I use to walk people through a sales conversation, so that there are no objections at the end, so that there is no feeling that high pressure or sleaziness or discomfort within the closing part of the call. So I'm going to be showing you and explaining to you and teaching you that, and it's going to be fun. So I am just encouraging you to sign up for the live stream. The Zoom link will be provided in the comments, and I'll put a couple of, post a couple of pictures on Facebook of our trip. And other than that, I'm here for the rest of today. And after that, bon voyage. I'm off, setting sail. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in today. And I am super excited to help you guys generate millions of dollars. So we'll be seeing you on April 26th at 2 p.m. Eastern for the 25K in 25 days. Okay, bye for now. Thanks for showing up.